Hi, Isaac. It looks like you're the only one here right now. So we're gonna go ahead and kind of just hop in. You're signed up to sing, so maybe put your rep in the chat so that Bill can see that. Um, Other than that, I think we're ready to get started. Are you there?
I'm here. What do you mean by my rep?
Oh, sorry. Your like what you're singing.
Like, like the sheet music for it?
No, just the title.
Oh, okay. Uh, uh, let me just get it.
Or are you just able to tell me?
Uh, yeah. I'm doing My Lady Walks in Loveliness. Hold on. Why is it not coming up? I am so sorry.
Not to worry.
Hmm.
We have a few minutes
Yeah,
to work out the
no
kinks.
worries. Oh, there it goes. Perfect. Now, do you have a an accompaniment track?
I'm using App
Okay,
Accompanist.
perfect. Great. And are you able to turn your? There's no requirement to, but are you able to turn your video on, or would you prefer not?
I can.
It's totally up
Let
to
me
you.
just. Hello.
Hi there. And is that Alexandra that just popped in? Excellent. Hi there. So Alexandra, so I should start by saying my name is Dr. Bill Hudson. I teach at Illinois Wesleyan University. I'm the chair of the voice and choral area, um, and I teach applied lessons and the vocal pedagogy sequence for the university for the School of Music. So, um, welcome. We're going to start with uh, Isaac, who's going to sing "My Lady Walks in Loveliness," and yeah. So whenever you're ready to jump in, let's jump in.
Okay. My lady walks in loveliness and shames of grace. A thousand songs dwell in her voice. A thousand songs dwell in her voice. Enchantment in her face, and love himself lays down his lute to mark her passing there. A lovely lyric lady with sunset in her hair. With sunset in her hair. My in loveliness.
Lovely, wonderful work.
Thank you.
Excellent. Can I ask you really quickly? Did this song come out of a book? Do you have a?
Yes.
Is it the? Do you happen to know the title?
The Boyton first book of tenor solos.
It is. Okay, give me just 1 second. That's what I thought. I can grab it. And I'm back. Okay, perfect. So this way, we can do this much more easily.
Okay.
Instead of me saying, I think you sang this word. Can you find that? And yeah. So first of all, lovely, lovely work. You've got a great sense of your upper range. Those G's and A's topped out really nicely. Do they feel easy for you?
Yeah.
Good, good. I'm kind of jealous about that. I've always had to work very, very hard for my high G's and A's. But yeah, so let's start with the first thing. You sang the word enchantment. The bottom of the second page.
Enchantment.
Oops, sorry. In her face. Yeah. Now, would you just say that word, that phrase?
Enchantment.
Yeah, the whole enchantment in her face.
Enchantment in her face.
Now, would you say it as if you are speaking it like this is a poem you just wrote, and you're giving life to that poem, and you've got an audience, and give it some gravitas, give it the excitement it needs.
Enchantment in her face.
Ah, nice. Now, do you notice that you're actually putting a nice vowel on enchantment and in her face? So when you sing it, and this is a common problem for everybody, when we have ends that close a syllable, we tend to go right to them. Enchantment in her, and I'm hyper exaggerating, but that's something I want you to look out for. So would you sing this just on the vowels?
Okay.
Good. Now, would you do it one more time? And now, would you connect them as smoothly as possible? Even if there's a little bit of a portamento, I'm not going to fault you on it yet.
Okay.
Good. Now, can you sing it exactly the same way with all the consonants? Enchantments in, but make sure I get vowels on those syllables that end with ends.
Okay. Enchantment in her face.
Okay. So now say the word enchantment.
Enchantment.
Okay. So what syllable gets the accent?
Eh?
Okay, so you say enchantment or enchantment?
I say enchantment.
Okay, so the chant gets a little heavier. And this is a I mean, it depends on what part of the country you're from. We could argue either way. What I would say is, because the way he said it to a it's kind of a pickup. The beat, the syllable chant falls on the beat. So I would say his Ernest Charles's idea is that chant gets the stronger. Can you make a little more of the vowel of chant rather than enchantments in enchantments in her? Yeah, do you see where I'm going with it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Enchantment in her face.
Yeah, that's starting to now. I'm starting to hear. I'm starting to hear what the text really means. It seems so much more fluid now. I should have started by saying in this, Alexandra, this goes for you too, and anybody else that sings. Anything, I have just met you. I'm hearing you for the first time. Anything I say, take back to your voice teachers. Give it a shot. I promise you, I'm not going to have you do anything that's going to hurt you. You're going to hurt yourself. But if you think, well, I don't really like that, or I don't really buy that, take it back to your voice teacher. But this one, try that one more time and just see if you can weave that word enchantment, but without enchantment. Yeah.
Okay. Enchantment in her face.
Yeah, really nice. So now let's talk about what is this piece about for you?
Longingness, I guess.
Okay.
Like the way I read it, it sounds like she's not completely there with him. It's more of like he's longing to be there with her rather than they're together.
Okay. So when you say not there with, are you talking physically? Like they have
Physically,
a
yes.
relationship, but they're just apart for whatever
Yeah.
reason? Okay, now, good. So why are they apart?
I don't know. It could possibly be just because, I mean, you could tie it to current circumstances. That
Right.
could be a current thing.
Perfect. Yeah. So does the poem tell you why they're apart? Does the song tell you?
I think I think it's trying to make you think of why they're apart and adapt it to your own life, maybe.
Exactly. So yeah, the poem is vague about why they're separate. So what I'm going to ask you to do, and maybe you've done this already, I want you to stage this in your head. So even though this is not a staged song, this isn't from a show or anything like that, I think for even art song, and this will go for Alma del Core, same thing. Who are you singing to? Is this are you a narrative? Are you just speaking to yourself? Is the person in front of you? Now we've just decided that she's not.
Mhm.
So, so then where is she? And why is she gone? Why aren't you together? And come up with that story. It can be as ludicrous as you want it to be. You don't ever have to tell anybody what it is. But as long as it means something to you, then your ability to bring this character to life will become more and more real to the audience. Because let's face it, even in recital, and of course on Zoom, I'm basically looking at shoulders up. You don't have a lot to work with as far as how do I project the emotion, how do I project the character. But if you have this really solid character in your mind, and the situation in your mind, the more detail the better. If you only have generic details in your head, you'll get a generic expression to the audience. If you have specific details, the audience will be right there with you. So take a moment and think, where are you? Like physically, are you on the beach? But you're on the beach by yourself and you wish she was there. And why isn't she there? Did she take a job somewhere else? Is it COVID? And she happened to be in another town and now can't get back because, you can't travel? Or, did she, I don't know, go off to school? And, any whatever. And then decide what time of day is it? Is it warm? Is it cold? All those little details, again, you're completely making them up. But all those little details can help with your interpretation. So do you have at least and it doesn't have to be the one you stick with, but do you have at least a kind of a little storyboard in your head?
I always had like a storyboard of what's happening as the song is being sung, but not really like a backstory to it. No.
Okay. So then really think about that story that you have about, and I wonder if you can allow this to more intimately affect your interpretation of the piece. Yeah? So
Yeah.
go ahead and let your personality through this character that you have in your head. Let them let that come out. Yeah?
Okay.
Okay. Would
I'll
you
I'll definitely do that next time I'm at my rehearsal with my voice coach.
Okay. Can you try would you mind trying a little bit of it now?
Sure.
Um, so let's the very first line, my lady walks in loveliness and shames the moon's cold grace. Would you speak that to me? Now we have a little bit of an audience, so pretend you just wrote this text and you're saying, "Welcome friends, this is my new poem. How do you like it?" And now read it dramatically to us.
Okay.
It's tough.
My lady walks in loveliness and shames the moon's cold grace.
Good. So yeah, sorry, I'm going to stop you there. So try that one more time. Just take a deep breath and just be dramatic with it.
Okay. My lady walks in loveliness and shames the moon's cold grace.
Yeah. So I'm hearing the word my and shames as very important in the way you're. So it's my lady walks in loveliness, which I like. So now when you sing it, can you bring that out? Even though my is only an eighth note. My lady, but my lady. Can you give it a little extra caress when you get to it?
Okay.
If
You want
you
me to
want
do
to,
that now?
yeah, let's try it. And if you want to turn the accompaniment back on, you can, or if you just want to take the my note
I don't need it.
cues. Okay.
My lady walks in loveliness.
Yep. And
Oh, you want
shames.
me to keep? Oh,
Yeah,
you want me
sorry.
to keep going? Okay.
Yeah, that's all right. Would you start from my lady?
Okay. My lady walks in loveliness and shames the moon's cold grace.
Good. Yeah, beautiful. Now I'm really able to follow your entire intent in that opening phrase. And I'll tell you, for everybody that's in the room here, one of the hardest things for us as singers to do is to keep a line moving when we have repeated notes. My lady walks in. That's how we end up. A lot of us just kind of default to this plodding through until the melody gets more interesting. So it's really hard to let that spin, and you're doing a really nice job. Good. I want to. Can we go to the third page when you have, and love himself lays down his lute. Would you just sing that for me?
Okay. And love himself lays down his lute to mark a passing there.
Yeah, good. Now I'm gonna encourage you. I'm gonna ask you to. Can you sing this? Do this again, like we did before. Sing this only on the vowels. L, E, L. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, good. Now, if you noticed, love himself, the way you just sang that was, eh, because I asked you not to sing to take out all the consonants. When you sing it for real now, don't put the L on until the very last second. Love himself lays down, rather than love himself lay. Do you hear the difference?
Yeah.
Try to do the former. Same
Okay.
thing with passing there, passing there. Yeah, more vowel.
Okay. And love himself lays down his lute to mark a passing there.
Yeah, excellent. That makes all the difference in the world. Does it make sense?
Yeah,
Do you like it?
yeah.
Put you on the spot. That was the right answer. Yeah. Do you do you ever do lip trills? Do you ever do
The
things or raspberries? Yeah. So you do. I would encourage. Do you ever sing your songs with lip trills?
I used to, but
Okay.
my rehearsal schedules have gotten shortened down due to COVID, so I don't
Yeah.
have we have to like get right to it instead of warming up for very long.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I would encourage you to consider that the lip trills are not only a good warm up, but also a good way to find your even breath flow. So I would encourage you that can really help with 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 the development of your legato. Your legato is very it's quite good, but there's always room for improvement. And so
Mhm.
so once you've warmed up with the lip trills, go ahead and don't be afraid to, even with pieces you know really really well, don't be afraid to sing with the lip trill and find that nice legato. Yeah,
Okay.
good. Any questions?
Um, how do I know that I've been told a lot about how I constantly chew my ends and stuff.
Hmm.
I how do you like make sure that you stop doing that permanently? Because a lot of the times I do it just second nature, and then I get told this.
Yeah, and it comes from so your diction is quite good, and I think it's probably rooted in that you're trying to enunciate and make sure you're clear. Um, it's also really easy for us and all of us to when you have more than one note on a syllable that you divide it up if you have a voiced consonant that
Mhm.
you put the voiced consonant. And that's really what the problem is it's we can sing through an N and an M. And it's a voiced consonant. If it was a K, you wouldn't do it. Like hawk, you can't. Yeah. So
Yeah.
it only happens on the voiced ones. So I would encourage you to take away the consonants like we did, sing just the vowels, and listen to how smoothly you can make it when just going from vowel to vowel. Because let's face it, that's all that singing is
Mhm.
elongated speech. Um, and then once you're comfortable getting from vowel to vowel, then allow the um, put the consonants back in, but try to really focus on you're basically gonna add the final consonants of any syllable onto the beginning of the next word or the beginning of the next syllable rather than the end. You know, just kind of do a mind game, trick yourself to put it towards the end.
Mhm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not hard to combat, but it is something you do have to pay some attention to. Um, and different styles. If you do musical theater doesn't that's not really verboten in music theater. So so if you do a lot of music theater, then you've got to remember, okay, I can do this in this repertoire, can't do this in this. So
Yeah. I'm currently in a musical right now, so
okay. So yeah, and most students are, and most students do both, and there's nothing wrong with it. But it does take a little bit of okay. Here's my classical brain. Here's my music theater brain, and there's a the Venn diagram is there's a giant overlap. But there is a little there are a few things that one doesn't really support the other. So
okay.
good, sounds great.
Thank you.
I hope you're able to stick around and listen to everybody else because I also, you know, if you have questions about the university itself, um, let me know. So before we jump in with Alexandra, Maria, are you prepared to do any singing or are you just kind of fly on the wall?
I'm prepared to do stuff. I have
Okay.
an exam in a couple weeks, so I have some accompaniments ready.
Okay. All right. Well, let's Alexandra, you have Alma del Core.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Alexandra,
Alexander,
have you done
have you done classical singer before
in
in
Um,
person?
no, never in person.
Okay.
Okay.
You look
You
very
look very
familiar.
familiar. I was wondering if I hadn't coached you before.
Okay.
Okay.
So, do you have
Do you have an accompaniment track?
I do, yes.
Perfect.
Perfect.
So
So whenever you're ready.
Alma del core, spirito dell'alma. Alma del core, spirito dell'alma, sempre costante t'adorerò, 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 t'adorerò. Alma del core, spirito dell'alma, sempre costante t'adorerò, sempre costante t'adorerò. Sarò contento nel mio tormento se quel bel labbro baciar potrò, se quel bel labbro, se quel bel labbro baciar potrò. Alma del core, spirito dell'alma, sempre costante t'adorerò, 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 t'adorerò. Alma del core, spirito dell'alma, sempre costante t'adorerò, sempre costante t'adorerò.
Beautiful.
Beautiful.
Wonderful.
Thank
Wonderful
you.
work.
So,
How long have you been working on this piece?
Since almost a year.
good.
Good.
Okay.
Okay.
One
One
little
tiny thing I want to point out.
when you
When you
to
get to sarò contento nel
mio,
mio, mio is a weird word in Italian.
The
The E sound gets more love than the O. So mio tormento, even though it's only on one note. So,
okay.
okay, so
Let's
do this. Let's see, where do I want to start? Can we go to the sarò contento?
I think.
Could you tell me what key you're doing this in?
I am doing this in
Or just how many sharps or flats? Doesn't matter.
4 sharps are what I'm seeing.
Four sharps. Okay.
I'm doing it in a key for medium low voice since I'm more of a mezzo soprano than a soprano.
Okay.
So
So I don't know that I have the same edition. Ooh, the echo is quite significant. Let's see. So could you just start with the sarò contento and see? Oh, he just left. Isaac just did it. So talk about how prevalent sarò contento did exactly what I told you not to do. So see, it's everybody does it. Anyway, so Alexandra, would you start right there and go through otro?
Should I sing with the track or just by myself?
You can
sing it either way. If you can find the spot in the track quickly, go for it.
Okay.
If not, I can. That was it.
Oh.
I think.
Sarò contento nel mio tormento, se quel bel labbro baciar potrà.
Good. Yeah. So what is the most prevalent vowel that you have to sing in that little line?
I keep hearing the vowel, more like en, like n.
Mm-hmm. You've got that on contento, tormento. Those are certainly strong accent syllables. But there's a vowel that you sing even more often in that little phrase that you sing.
I'm also hearing a lot of the O vowel.
Yes, and it's the O that I want to talk about. So would you do me a favor and give your cheeks a little massage? Now, the one thing that's important for us to remember is as we sing foreign languages, especially if we don't know what they are, if we don't speak them fluently, we have to do our best to imitate them. And I always tell my students to pretend that you're doing the voiceover for an Italian character in a cartoon. So how do you overdo the accent so that there's no question that here comes an Italian character? And it's also, I don't know where you live, if you live in a more urban area where you're more likely to run into foreign language speakers, but when I used to live in Boston, I could see people from across the street, and I couldn't hear them, but I could see their mouths moving, and I could tell that they weren't speaking English, and sometimes I could even tell which language they were speaking, and then I would sometimes run across the street to see if I was right. But what I want to see from you is sarò contento nel mio tormento. A lot more activity here. Yeah. Oh, that's a nice O.
More roundedness of the lips.
Much more rounded. Yeah. So would you just speak the text? Sarò contento.
Sarò contento.
Go on.
Nel mio tormento.
Nel mio.
Yes. Nel mio tormento.
Good.
Se quel bel labbro baciar potrò.
Yeah, and baciar. So that I is there only to make the C sound like a ch. So you don't have to worry about baciar at all. Baciar. Yeah. So sarò contento. Would you say that one more time?
Sarò contento.
Good. Now, where do you feel the O being formed on your lips? Do you feel it on the corners or the center?
I feel it more on the center because I'm trying to round my lips out.
Would you try, take your fingertips and find those little bundle of muscles right off the corner? So you have this orbicular muscle
that
will, can do all sorts of things. But what I want to see if you can do is use this muscle, and so now use your fingers to help get it into position. Use the corners of your mouth to shape the O, so that the center of the lips is really loose. So just say oh.
Oh.
And now drop your jaw a little bit farther. The tip of the tongue is touching the back of the bottom teeth, and say oh.
Oh.
There you go.
How does that feel?
It feels like a little bit shaky right now, only because I'm not used to using those muscles.
That's exactly why it feels shaky. It's like if you were holding something heavy in your hand and you held it away from you, after a while your arm would get tired and your muscles start shaking. And it's exactly what's happening. But what I'll say is, and everyone in the room can try this right now, if you drop your jaw and then try to touch your lips together without closing your jaw, what happens to your tongue?
I notice my tongue going up.
Yeah,
it goes up and back.
And
that's definitely not the direction we want it to go as a singer. So when we round for an O, we don't want to tense up the center of our lips. But when we pull them in from the side, there's no effect to the tongue. So that's what we want to go for. Any language, any rounding of the lips should come from the corners. Yep. So would you speak now one more time? Sarò contento. Yeah.
Sarò contento.
Go on.
Nel mio tormento, se quel bel labbro baciar potrò.
Yeah,
baciar.
Yes.
Yeah. So that was really good. And if everyone else in the room, you noticed that you started because I had you doing this. So almost all of your vowels had a little O color to them. But by the end, you figured out how to sneak into the O and get out of it for the other vowels. So perfect. I want to go back to the beginning, and I'm going to ask you the same question. Who's in the room with you? Who are you singing? What is this about? Is this happy? Is it sad? What's in your head?
I think the literal translation is "I will always faithfully adore you." So I think of this as a love song being sung to someone I really love, and who can be like almost a comfort to me when I'm in like a troubled time, because there's a line that goes, "I will be content in my torment if I can kiss your beautiful lips."
Right. So what might that torment be? Does the poem tell you?
I think it leaves it ambiguous.
Yeah. So it could be anything, right?
Right.
Can you think of anything? You don't have to tell me, but have that in your head.
Yes.
Yeah. So I mean, the thing is, it could be exactly what Isaac was talking about, the separation. The torment of just, I can't wait to see you again. And I will always adore you, even if you're not here right now. And then at some point, I'll be able to kiss those beautiful lips. So, Alma del Core, the soul of my heart. Can you start singing this? And can I hear in your interpretation, you are singing to someone that means so much to you, that you're calling them the soul of your heart. Yeah, that is not a light thing to tell somebody. So it's up to you if you want to use the accompaniment, or I can just play the notes.
I will try to use the accompaniment. Since it's the beginning, it should be pretty easy to find.
So let's stop there. So Why do you think you sing Alma del Cuore twice?
I think it's kind of putting an extra emphasis on that sentiment.
Definitely. Absolutely. So can I hear, let's make it easy and just the second time make it more intense. But then I also want you to recognize, so you're saying, soul of my heart, soul of my heart, I will always faithfully adore you. So there's the kind of the beginning part of the phrase and then the consequent. So I will always adore, I will faithfully adore you, whatever. So can I hear this building of intention? Soul of my heart, spirit of my soul, I will always love you or adore you, whatever. So from the beginning again?
Of course. Alma del cuore, spirito dell'alma. Alma del cuore, spirito dell'alma, sempre costante t'adorerò.
Yeah, nice. I like that. What did you think?
I felt like that sounded more expressive as opposed to just technical.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. And I noticed you also, that time, you didn't take a breath after Spirito dell'Alma, the second one. You went right into Sempre Costante. Which did two things. I liked the connection. It's not something we hear very often, but it did force you to have to sneak a breath. But I know that was like I'm trying it right now. Haven't worked it out yet. So if you choose not to breathe there, see if you can make it through that whole phrase and spin the whole thing. Yeah. And the tough thing with these early Italian pieces are that you do that repeated thing and then you repeat the exact same thing again. So how are you going to make it even different? How are you going to make it even more engaged? And then we get into the Labro baciar potrò, and I can't wait to kiss your those beautiful lips. Again, in auditions, in singing and recital, we don't have a stage set up. You don't have another character to sing to. You have to give it all to us basically from our eyes and in your face. So would you we'll just start from the beginning again, and I want you to really tell us that story. Think about something in your own life, maybe some way you can relate it to yourself. You don't have to share that with anybody except through your eyes and your expression in this piece. Yeah? So try it from the beginning. Wonderful. Yeah, that's so nice. And I'm getting the whole line. And of course, now you're about to sing the exact same thing again. One little thing. Be careful. Oops. The A sharp. Make sure it's high enough all three times, because there's a big. You're leading into a new tonality that we really need to hear. Wonderful. Do you have any questions?
I can't think of anything. Thank you so much.
Okay, you're welcome. If you think of anything, you can pop it out. I'll still be here. So
wonderful,
wonderful work. Maria,
would you like to sing something?
Yeah, if that's okay.
Sure. What would you like to sing?
Would I be able to sing Romance by Claude Debussy?
Absolutely.
Yay. All right.
I'm going to grab a score.
L'homme évaporé souffrante, l'âme douce, l'âme odorante des divins que j'ai cueilli dans le jardin de ta pensée, où dans les volontés chassées, cet homme adorable délit. N'est-il plus un parfum qui reste de la suavité céleste des jours tout m'enveloppé d'une vapeur surnaturelle? Faites d'espoir, d'amour fidèle, de béatitude et de paix.
Beautiful. Wonderful. Do you study French at school? Do you study French at school?
Yeah, I know French.
You do? Okay. Are you fluent?
I like to say I'm fluent, but whenever I say I'm fluent, I proceed to then completely mess up whatever I'm saying.
That's fair. So you're pretty close. So you're comfortable with it, certainly.
Yeah.
Yeah, that shows.
I'm Canadian, so.
Pardon me?
I'm Canadian, so it's like more French here.
Yeah, there is. Good. So, and how long have you been working on this piece?
I think a few months. I think I got it like maybe September, but I started working on it maybe December, January.
Okay, good. So what does this piece mean to you? What is the translation? Give us a summary or let us know what you think about when you're singing it.
When I'm singing it, a lot of the words don't translate directly. Like some of the sentence, when I try and translate them, it doesn't make any sense. Like the evaporated and suffering soul.
Right.
I don't know, but when I think of the song, I like to think of colors whenever I'm singing a song. So with this song, I kind of have like almost like a watercolor underwashed underneath all my other colors of like a calming blue. Mm-hmm. And then I've added colors to different parts of the sentences based on how the music makes me feel and the translations that I looked up because the sentences don't make sense to me. It's very metaphorical.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that's one of the problems that to translate yourself, to translate in foreign language, especially poetry. If you just think about the English poetry in your native tongue, sometimes it doesn't shock us so much. We're like, oh, okay, you use that word, I know what that means. But to use évaporer, do you really mean evaporate, or do you mean just kind of something that's disappearing or only there momentarily, like fleeting? You may want to poke around online a little bit and get some help with some of the translation. It might give you some other word options that like, oh, okay, if you consider this poetically, I can see what you mean. I love the sense of colors. Are you an artist? Are you a painter, artist?
No. With colors, my teacher, I've had the same teacher for like 7 years or something, and she just a couple years and she started talking to me about colors, and it stuck. It's just I assign all my pieces colors and stuff.
Well, it's perfect, especially for Debussy, the impressionistic, that whole sense of use of color is wonderful. So what I would encourage you to do for this piece, so talk about, we've got a lot of repeated text or repeated notes with text, so it's right off the bat. Would you tell me what key you're doing this in?
In B major.
B major? Okay, so your first note's a D sharp?
Wait, let me just double check. La me vaporer. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Like maybe a C sharp.
Okay,
yeah.
Gotcha. Okay, sorry, I did the wrong translation. Okay.
My phone, sorry.
That's okay. So, la me vaporer. So you've got a lot of ba 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 ba. Would you just speak the text to me?
La me vaporer souffrante.
Okay, now speak it, but forget about the rhythm that Debussy gave you.
L'âme évaporée et souffrante.
Yeah. So now here's an interesting thing to consider is that English and Italian typically use strength accents. Like if we want to accent a syllable, we just kind of smack it a little harder. French doesn't. French, it just kind of pulls it apart like taffy. It lengthens stressed syllables. So your approach to the French, anyone's approach to French has got to be completely different. And what I would encourage you to do, Maria, is to speak the text and then sing it. So would you speak it once again?
Okay.
Go through douce, and then I'm going to have you sing it.
L'âme évaporée souffrante, l'âme douce, l'âme odorante des lits divins, que j'ai cuit dans le... Okay.
Yeah. Let's go all the way to pensée.
Okay. Que j'ai cuit dans le jardin de ta pensée.
Wonderful. Now, would you sing it? And you can use the recording, or I can just play this first note for you.
L'âme évaporée souffrante, l'âme douce, l'âme odorante des lits divins, que j'ai cuit dans le jardin de ta pensée.
Yeah, it's starting to take on a little bit more character of the spoken French. I would ask you would you just speak the very opening line? Let's see here. Let's go up, just stop at douce, and then I want you to sing it again. And really think about how you speak it, and then can you put the accents and the kind of the flow of the language and kind of superimpose that onto what ABC gives you.
Okay.
That makes sense? So,
yeah.
L'âme. Yep.
Just say it first?
Speak it first, yeah, okay. Up to l'âme douce.
L'âme évaporée souffrante, l'âme douce.
Good. Now, would you just sing it?
L'âme évaporée souffrante, l'âme douce.
Beautiful. Do you hear the difference? Did everyone else hear the difference between especially your first four notes, the da 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 da? I now heard that this melody was going somewhere. You had energy behind it, and it was blossoming. Da 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 da, rather than bum 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 bum, which wasn't quite what you were doing, but you were closer to that. Now you've got this energy through it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you notice that?
I did notice that.
Okay, good. Did you like it?
I did like it. It was kind of more delicate than I was used to.
Yeah, and this is what makes singing French difficult. Certainly for Americans, French is a harder language because it's way too many sounds that we don't make. So we have to teach our mouths how to make them. And there's so many letters that you ignore. So it's difficult for Americans, but also then the way the language is expressed, it's also quite difficult for singers, because it's very different. So can we do you have the music in front of you, or do you have this totally memorized? And
I have it memorized.
okay, would you be able to start from the N'est-il plus area?
All right. Yeah.
N'est-il plus, and let's see, because I have this in a different key. This is down a minor third from here, so I think that. No, sorry, that would be it.
N'est-il plus un parfum qui reste?
Yeah, now would you speak that for me?
N'est-il plus un parfum qui reste?
Ah, parfum qui reste. Yeah, you're going for reste. That gets all the love. And Debussy, thankfully, gives you all the love for it. Gives you a nice half note for it. Would you speak it one more time and bring the line all the way to reste?
N'est-il plus un parfum qui reste?
Yeah, now would you sing that?
N'est-il plus un parfum qui reste?
Wonderful. And now you've shaped that whole line to reste. And can you do the rest? Can you do the next de la suavité?
De la suavité céleste.
Yeah, and now he gives you this line that I won't be able to play because I can't transpose it. But now you've got to deal with a different register. So before is like that was all nice and easy, and all the you're doing that really, really well. So you're going vité céleste, but the peak of the phrase is not the high note, it's la céleste. So can you speak that part? Speak de la suavité.
De la suavité céleste.
Good. Now would you sing it and go to céleste?
De la suavité céleste.
Good.
Yeah,
and then you go on to de jours. Good.
Okay.
Do you have an image? So this one is not narrative. It's just kind of, this poem is kind of
it's more mood than a
it's
story.
very mood. So what is your sense for singing this? Where do you have yourself? Who are you when you're singing this?
Well, I don't really have a sense of self when I'm singing this. I have kind of two images that stay in my mind throughout the piece. So this might sound a bit weird, but there's this one painting at my singing teacher's house, and it's like a really pretty blue, and it's abstract, and it has a violin on it. And I think it just really like encompasses the mood of the piece. So I usually look at that when I'm singing at her house and I think about it. And then another mood is it's in the first bit, it describes a garden and lilies and flowers and scents and perfumes and everything. So I think of myself in a garden, and it's raining, but like it's that light calming rain that you can just kind of and soak yourself in.
Okay, and I'm assuming it's also a slightly warm rain.
Yeah.
Cold, chilly rain. So yeah, and it's just a very delicate thing. Yeah, that's wonderful. Can you start now? Can you really envision that and let us see that garden in the way you sing? And you can use the accompaniment track if you want from the beginning.
All right. L'homme évaporé souffrante, l'homme douce, l'homme odorante des divins que j'ai cru dans le jardin de ta pensée, ou dans les volontés chassées. C'est un adorable délit. Est-il plus un parfum qui reste de la suavité céleste des jours automne enveloppés d'une vapeur surnaturelle, faite d'espoir, d'amour fidèle, de béatitude et de paix.
Beautiful. I felt the rain on my face. I saw the flowers. I smelled all the scents of the flowers. Wonderful work. Good. Do you have any
Thanks.
questions?
Not that I can think of, but this has been a lot of help. Thank you.
Oh, good. So we're out of time officially, but if you have any questions about, I don't know how close people are to, if you're using this to kind of feel out universities and check out programs that you might want to come to, but we are in a liberal arts. We have a professional school of music within a liberal arts setting. We're a smaller university, but we're in a smallish city, but we're pretty well connected. We've got a nice 2-hour train ride right up to Chicago and 2.5 hours down to St. Louis. So we're pretty well connected. But do you have any questions about the program or something else about if I said something that maybe sparked a question about your voice? Or
This is not just for Maria, for anyone who has a question.
Yeah, for everybody.
You mentioned that it was a smallish program. Could you talk a bit more about it? Just like what kind of like the amount of students, the amount of staff, what kind of things you teach, like opera, musical theater.
So we have at the school at Illinois Wesleyan, I think total we have about 1,700 students. We have about 100 students within the School of Music, and I would say 40 of those are voice in some capacity. Either we have a Bachelor of Music in Voice Performance, we have a Bachelor of Music Education, we have a number of voice students that are pursuing education degrees, and then we have a Bachelor of Arts degree, and we have a number of voice students that are in that. The Bachelor of Arts is kind of the liberal arts degree. Most students that take a Bachelor of Arts in Music also are pursuing a biology degree or a math or an English. They're double majoring somehow. We have 3 full-time voice faculty and 2 part-time. We do a fully staged opera production every fall and usually scenes in the spring. We do have there's a School of Music and there's a School of Theater Arts. So the School of Theater Arts is its own thing. So if you were interested in doing musical theater, you would be auditioning for a different department, or different school rather. But there's nothing to say if you were a music major, you can't audition for the School of Theater Arts program and vice versa. It's just, we have to service our own students first, and they have to service their own students, their own majors first. But we've had plenty of students on their main stage doing productions, doing characters and whatnot, both in their acting and their music theater. Let's see. Like I said, we have diction courses that you're required to take as a performance major. We have vocal pedagogy courses. Yeah. Any other questions?
Great.
We do have. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I said we do have I got a number of students that have gone on and have done quite well for themselves. In fact, most recently, 2017, I have a music ed student that in her junior year just suddenly her voice just blossomed, and she went to she decided not to go into music ed. She finished the degree, but she went to pursue a master's in vocal performance at University of North Texas. And her very first semester there got cast in the lead in, she was doing Pamina. And her very first performance, I went down to see it. and Fort Worth Opera was there, and they gave her their business card, and now she's singing. She's being like an apprentice at the Fort Worth Opera. So we have a pretty good little training for as small as we are. We've got a solid training, and our students are really, we're preparing you for whatever your 5th year is going to be. And by that I mean, what are you going to do when you graduate? I got some students that are singing in, well, before COVID, they're singer-songwriters and singing in clubs in Chicago. He was a voice major. And then others that are, singing at the Fort Worth Opera. So, any other questions?
Great. Well, this has been amazing. Bill, any last words?
It was a pleasure to hear all 3 of you. I hope you stay in touch. If you're looking for a school, drop me a line. And I'd love to see you in person on campus for a little tour. I could give sample lessons, things like that. So
great.
Thanks so much.
Well, thank you, everyone. And then if you think of any more questions, remember to attend the University Expo. I do believe Illinois Wesleyan is represented there. So you are all wonderful. Thank you for singing, and we'll see you later.
Thank you.
Ciao, everyone.
Bye,
Thank you so much.
Goodbye.
Bye.